What's good, gamers? Welcome back. It is finally a time where I am sort of ready to talk about the ban list. So, as you all probably know / have seen, on the last ban list that we have received, there was a uncertain date. It said no sooner than I think 2 months or something, or two. I'm not sure. There wasn't really a date or an expected, you know, what we usually kind of know is around this date. We had nothing. So it was kind of difficult for me to kind of judge when this list was going to be. It could have been easily before the YCS. It could have easily been right after the YCS. But now we're 1 week after and there still is no ban list. So I kind of felt confident. We've seen a lot about the meta to justify a ban list right now. A couple of things to say before we go in. Two things. First one, why release a ban list now? We just got the Alba structure deck. Don't we need to see where this deck can go? Is it a good place for the meta? Maybe see if it's all okay. Well, first of all, there's so many people complaining about the meta nowadays. They just kind of have to address it at this point, mainly because of that. But also, I do not think that this deck will. I think that no matter what the deck will do, like fine. But I think that we can just create a better / healthier state of the game. And I think that Konami right now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is as popular as ever, especially with Master Duel. There's a couple of changes they can and should do to incentivize playing the game a little bit more, which is something that I do really think the community kind of needs. And I think that especially for the structure decks, nothing will be as motivating as a fun format to play. And if the format's becoming a lot better by getting a couple of cards out, or limiting a couple of cards, or unlimiting a couple of cards, then this will be a bigger reason for the players to step back in, and what better way to step back in than with Ghosts from the Past 2 and the structure deck coming out. Then the first thing we're gonna have to talk about is the Brave engine. Now there are two ways, in my opinion, that this can go. The first one will get rid of the problem, which is a ban on the Griffin. Now, a ban on the Griffin will make sure that all the decks don't have a negate anymore. They more die to Nibiru. You need a couple of less hand traps to effectively deal with their board. Banning Griffin is definitely a very, very solid and good answer to the problem, but it will also kind of hurt the engine in a way. I think that it will still be played, especially like in prank kits, for example, where it's just going to be a good extenders, etc. But that's option one. Option two is to limit the Rasamir. And now, why would you limit the Rasamir over Enchantress? First of all, you can Ash Enchantress, you can Bell Enchantress, you can Gamma Enchantress. There's interaction with Enchantress. There's almost no interaction with a Right of a Rasamir. So putting Right to 1 is fine, because then, Enchantress can still search it or add it back from the grave, which is all good and dandy. But the difference is that you cannot just activate it and it will just resolve going first, which allows a lot more interactivity. So either they're gonna do the ban on the Griffin to kind of get the engine out of the game for now, or it will still be played as extenders in certain decks because it's just too much advantage, or they're gonna limit the Rasamir, in my opinion. And I think that both of them is kind of fine. I don't think anyone will complain about that. We know that it's gonna happen someday, so why not just accept it now? So it's going to be either one of those. That's my prediction for the Brave engine. They might just not touch it at all. That's also a very big possibility. I do not think they're going to hit Draco. I do not expect they're going to hit Enchantress. So that's kind of the vibe that I've been getting with these cards. And we are finally safe to move on to the ban section. Starting off with the... What does the ban start with? Link monsters? Synchros? I'm going to start off with a Link 1. Prankits, Meow, Mew. Now, a lot of people are gonna probably say, why the hell would you ban Prankits? You can heard it in a very different way. Like Suffer told me that limits to Doodle Do is probably also very fine. No, this deck is fine. It was reprinted in the Gold series, or in the Tins. It was in the Gold series, and it doesn't cost anything. It's not making Konami any more money. It's fine. This deck can go. There's no point. This deck doesn't have to exist anymore. It's fine. Just destroy Meow Mew so they have to play fusion stuff again, and that's bad. So I think that definitely banning Meow Mew, killing the deck, is completely fine. I think that this deck is horrible for overtime as well. So just just get out, just get it out. Just get it out, finally get it out of the way. Second ban in the second Link monster ban and also the last Link monster ban is Mechaphantabeast Aurorodon. It's kind of weird to ban the Deskbot. It's not really, Hulk is not gonna go just yet, or this ban is gonna be ridiculously late, which is also something that I had to talk about. Because of the Danglong reprint and Ghost from the Past, which arrives in May, it's either gonna be, there's a ban list this month, and Hulk will be touched to 1, 2, or it will be fine, or there's not gonna be a ban list till May, so somewhere late May, so that everyone could have bought their Hulks and then they all were banned. So I do not expect to hit the Hulk, which is why we are banning Aurorodon, which is kind of fine. I like the Hulk decks right now. It's kind of cool with the synchro pile stuff. It definitely needs a touch, and we'll get to that later. But for now, the real thing is make sure that a lot of the decks that focus on the Hulk are unplayable. Meaning, like, for example, the Sword Soul deck can no longer play a Hulk to go into Despot, to go into Aurorodon, to combo, like that. Because basically, Hulk doesn't really facilitate that much anymore because all the good tuners are banned anyway. But it still needs definitely a touch, so I think that Aurorodon is definitely the way to go. And then the first monster we're gonna ban, it's gonna be the last banned card on my prediction, and this is a prediction that I think that this list is something that Konami is able to come out with, like genuinely, not a wish list, actually. Banlist Prediction. Artifact site, it's time to go. It's not really doing much, but it's also not fun. If you are one of the persons that think that it should be Dagda, then yeah. I don't even think I can say what I want you to do on Twitch, but it's not good. It's just, there's no point in, why would you want to keep side? Why would you want to keep side? There's no point in wanting to keep side. Nobody wants to keep side. Just get it out of the game. Thank you very much. This has been my TED Talk. Yeah. If it survives one more list, I swear to God. Then on the limited section, starting off, we're gonna start off with links. Hulk Vibrex to 1. Putting an halt to the decks that are running 2, because there's a couple of decks running 2 right now. Putting it to 1 is touching it, making those decks that are very dominant this meta slightly less dominant, so definitely I think a good hit to put it to 1 to do at least something with it. I know it's kind of weird, I know it should probably go at this point, but it's just not gonna happen. Second link is gonna be Verte Anaconda. Don't think we expected anything else. There's a lot of decks playing 2 right now as well. This is actually a card that I'm not really sure on. The reason why I want to limit it is because there's a couple of decks running 2 right now, which is kind of completely against the idea of Verte, I think. I think it should be like a last resort or a plan B. It should not be, you make this, get nipped, to make another one. I do not think that's fair at all. Or like the first one gets negated and then turn 3 you make another one. I just do not think that's a good idea to have. So putting the Verte to 1 is a good solution to get rid of it in the end, but I do not think they're going to get rid of it just yet because of the Alba stuff. So that's kind of my reasoning why I want to put it to 1. I know it's kind of a dumb hit, but it does make sense the more you think about it, like wanting to keep it for the Albas, but not wanting it to having a problem in tournament play, even though it's a problem. Maybe ban it, I don't know, go ban it. Then, this is where the Copium is gonna start kicking in. Yeah, there I have 3 cards. Where am I gonna start with this one? 9 Pillars is an Ultra and goes from the past 2, so Danglong will be back. Is this a good idea or not? Probably not. But people want it. The OCG has it. Don't think it's that big of a problem. I think it's good. But the only reason we're really talking about this is because there's our Young Singing goes from the past 2. Then, soon there's going to be a new archetype released in the OCG. And it's going to come to the TCG relatively soon. It's a Thunder archetype, that we haven't seen for quite a while. And you know what works really, really well with Thunder and would give it a boost in the TCG over what it has in the OCG? Thunder Dragon Colossus will be back to 1. Then the last Copium card. And these 3 cards, I know that I should not be using this, but these cards are all legal in Master Duel and it's not doing anything. These are hardly part of the best decks right now, which is kind of why I value, or like why I can say, oh no, it's fine, because It has been proven to us now that finally that unlimiting these cards is garbage and the decks don't do anything. They're like okay at best. But putting back Harper as well as the last Copium card to come back, I know, I'm sorry. But I think it's genuinely fine. I do not understand why they wouldn't do it. That's kind of the point. These three are kind of wild cards, maybe more of a wish list than a prediction, but it makes sense. Somehow it makes sense. Like, if there's a format these cards can and should come back, it's this format. It would be very, very cool to see these decks running around. Maybe a cool Despia Thunder Dragon deck, or Orcust, Synchro deck. I don't know what we can make up without. I'm here to see it. Last card we're limiting is Fusion Destiny. Now this card went from 3 to 2, which made no sense, now to 1, which I think is very fine. So a limit to that card is going to be very, very fine and very called for as well. Some limited list, there's not a lot on here, just 2 cards. Danger Jackalope, the next Danger that will go to 2, then to 3, to maybe one day see Tsuchinoko come back. The dangers bringing them back is always definitely scary, but I think that it's pretty fine if you bring them back now. So yeah, definitely another one to clean up the ban list. And the second one is Lunar Light Tiger. Now this card came back to 1, did nothing at all. That's partly due to Tanky being banned too. So I'm not really sure if putting it to 3 is a good idea, but I would like to see what the deck can do with 2 and 1 Tanky. So putting Lunar Light Tiger to 2 to see how the deck fares. Maybe it becomes a little bit too broken, but honestly I do not expect that it can ever be too broken. For the unlimits, this is mainly literally just to clean up the ban list and to bring fun strategies back into the game, especially this format. Yatakarasu does nothing at all. Servant of Endymion, give back the pendulum a little bit more. Knight Assailant is getting errata in the OCG, so we will be getting the errata soon and then it can be put to 3. Mirage Salio, you're never gonna play 2 anyway. That grass looks greener. It's gonna be very fun to see this card return in a format where everyone runs 60 anyway. Can you imagine grass is finally back but you still can't play it because everyone's playing 60 cards? Which is just a new deck building theory which is going to be relevant for a very long while. I think that this is going to be just a very, very fine hit, or unlimited. It's going to be fine. Restore to 3, as long as we keep Master Plan banned, this deck is entirely fine to get everything back. Quick fix should follow soon. Hero Lifts went from 1 to 2 and now it should be probably to 3. Salama Great Circle. I didn't really like the circle when it went to 2, but I guess that, they're going for the circle instead of Gazelle, so then I guess that we're gonna continue and put it back to 3. Scapegoat. Yeah, this was broken back then. We all played this, but now it's just awful. I do not know what changed. I guess the game, which is was very much faster now. Putting it to 3 is fine after it went to 2. Second Light, incentivizing deck building, especially nowadays. Keeping the people off Brave is going to be very fine and a good reason to get it back to 3. Trickstar Light Stage, another archetype that fell and is not doing anything. Probably because of the field spell being back at 1. Yeah, definitely fine to be putting back at 3. And the last card that we are going to talk about is Time Seal. And that's basically all I had to say about it. If you think that Time Seal Yata can't come back, you're on some heavy drug and I do not know what you're doing with your free time. That's it. I'm gonna admit, this list's pretty big. There's a couple of things on here that should probably be more on a wish list. So I might take the L on this. But I think that there's a couple of really good cards in here that are very fine to either come back or be banned or be limited. Maybe it's a little bit too much. Probably it's a little bit too much. But I believe that we can have a very fun format in the next couple of months. Very excited for the Albas deck. And, it could be very nice to see some other stuff coming back or leaving the format. And yeah, let me know in the comment section down below if you agree. What do you think is gonna happen? Are they gonna ban anything? Are they not gonna ban anything? Is there gonna be a ban list? Is Yu-Gi-Oh getting cancelled forever? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.